I just had you in here. What's going on?
Andy loses his goddamn mind in this episode.
I'm losing
he
my
just
fucking
should have gone
goddamn
straight
mind over
crazy.
Andy.
He should
Andy?
have just gone straight
Did he?
Dexter, and then I would have respected him more.
Welcome to the House of Halliwell. This is episode 16. Which PRUE is it anyway? In an effort to save herself, PRUE chants an incantation to multiply her strength. Surprisingly, the spell results in the creation of multiple PRUEs. This episode aired on March 3rd, 1999, and it was directed by
do we really
John
need to
Baring.
keep including, well, that's why I love it, because it's John Baring, but also, do we need to keep including the dates of said episodes?
I just want people to know.
For why?
I just, it's a good reference point.
It's really not. It just make it sound like ancient,
It is
historical times.
It is.
In the archives.
It was historical times.
March.
I just want
Medieval
people
times?
to recognize where they were in history when we're this episode that we're talking about.
I think they know, because they know they didn't see it, most of the people, the first time around. So it really doesn't matter when it first aired, because they saw it like the fifth time it aired. And we don't need to know, again, that you were 2 years old. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and they saw it in 2019.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this
It's brand new.
Is this like a
Hey, I saw it in
democracy? Are we kicking this
2022.
Are we kicking this to the group right now? We don't want to tell when it aired anymore?
I like it.
Oh my God.
Thanks, BK. I'm agree with
That's okay. You know what, BK? You were part of my childhood. And that's all I'm going to leave you with.
You were part of mine too.
Guys, Multiplicity. Did this air roughly around that movie when Michael Keaton did the Multiplicity episode?
No, I think that was before
1999. I don't know.
1969.
It was March. Everybody was gearing up to go Y2 crazy.
Oh, that's true.
The world was going to stop in 2000.
Well, true. Totally.
I remember that.
I mean, no, you don't.
Yes, I do. I remember.
What? You remember being in your diaper?
Like everyone thought that they were going to lose all their money in the banking system because of like a decimal point didn't go.
Yeah, planes were going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
So you want to know what I did? Alyssa and I went to Las Vegas, because clearly that's where you should be.
A lot of people did. I remember that.
Yeah.
Vegas.
A lot of people
Vegas.
did.
I mean, if the world is going to
released in
end,
1996. So
See,
clearly
I told
this
you before.
had some inspiration by it.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Javier.
Well,
the show?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This was the most fun I think I've ever seen Shannon have. Like up to this point. Like the girl was having the fucking time of her life. She was smiling almost in every shot.
Yeah. I mean, this was like the first time. This, I think, is the first episode you see Shannon enjoy herself. And the only person I've ever met in my life that enjoys having triple time the amount of work to do than normal.
Yeah.
Because she'll show up early and leave late. And then when she has three characters to play, that's even more exciting. Clearly, it's evident.
Yeah, it was evident. Like literally smiling ear to ear and made very specific choices for each of the characters that she was playing. And it worked. Like there was like the promiscuous one who also gave 2 fucks or 0 fucks. And then there was like the bubbly kind of like a Shannon that we've never seen before ever. And then there was like the classic PRUE who was kind of, like
PRUE being PRUE.
PRUE being PRUE. I kind of loved it. I loved watching her eat and have the most fun with the characters.
She really enjoyed annoying me in those scenes too. And if memory serves, I mean, there's a couple of things going on with me in this episode. I can tell I was a bad actress and like I hit the wall. Like it worked for the character in the episode, but I had hit the wall that season at like exhaustion level 12. And it's really evident in this episode where Shannon's more than happy to be there, where I'm just like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that when I said I'm not talking to that clone, and I had to say it twice. That was all me. That was 100% me.
I also thought I saw a little bit of you seep through in the line of, well, some men can be very sensitive about their weapons. And then you look at Shannon and she's totally laughing.
She was trying to break me on purpose. Yeah. And that's why I waved her off, because she was trying to make me laugh, because I was in the headspace of let's get the F out of this building today. And she was fully enjoying herself in this episode. And she was trying to make me laugh. It
was funny.
On purpose.
There was some really
and she's
fun
usually
things.
Super serious and super professional, would not dick around like that. But no, this one, she was all party all day long, all night long.
So what was that like? And BK, unfortunately, you and I didn't get to experience this, but because you're the only one there of the three of us, what was it like to experience someone who's usually pretty fucking serious about the business and the process, to then all of a sudden this episode kind of gave her permission to kind of let loose and fuck around?
There was anarchy everywhere. This is where mutiny set in, because literally most of Alyssa's stuff is also ad-libbed. She's just talking to me like we're talking every day. There's
totally
a ton of lines that were just her talking that were not scripted.
But for whatever reason, and again, it's a testament to the three of you and how brilliant actresses all three of you are, it just played. Everything felt real. At this point, I think you guys all know your characters and who you are. And so watching you guys interact with each other, you could tell that there was some ad-libs going on, but it all it was all serving the story. It didn't feel completely out of character.
I think at this point, the editors couldn't differentiate what was real and what was not, and what was supposed to be there and what was not. So they just went with it. And there was quite a bit of that. I mean, and I think it helped the episode a lot. I actually enjoyed this episode because I enjoyed watching Shannon enjoy herself.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Because she's a serious actress, and there's nothing wrong with being a serious actor. God knows I've been accused of being a serious actor once or twice in my life.
Yes, you have.
But also,
how dare you?
There is a joy there. Yeah. We have the greatest job in the world, especially when we get to be do it with friends. And so the opportunity to kind of let loose and have fun and be given permission to be a little bit silly,
to be creative. That's being creative.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, and there was a lot to overcome in this episode, the opening Fight Club, highlight, super violent death.
It was so weird. The opening was the boxing gym. I mean, it also didn't look like Charm for a second. By this point, you've kind of established
turned to the wrong channel.
This whole show to me felt like a 1970s soap opera, nighttime soap opera, the way it opened. And the way it was just
the opening was...
It just felt vintage spelling to me.
Yeah.
The pretty lighting, the nighttime soap. It felt like Dallas or old-timey. Even the way it was lit.
We're not that old, Brian.
I found it kind of threw me a little bit until we got further into the storyline with PRUE and the whole thing.
Yeah,
I agree.
Everybody started to loosen up.
That guy showed up with the trench. First of all, what the fuck is with all the dudes in trenches?
Because bad guys wear trench coats, for God's sake.
Instantly bad guy.
Yeah, if you're wearing a trench, you're either the world's worst detective or you're a bad guy. It's one of two things.
Right.
And this guy with the feathered mullet.
Oh, yeah.
Also, he's just carrying around a glass. I wrote, so this dude's just carrying around a glass.
Again. Why couldn't we have, why did it have to be so big? Why did it have to be so plastic looking? Couldn't it have been, smaller, deadlier?
You guys have already flexed some really cool sabers. In Woogie, Alyssa had a whole slew of...
Yeah.
She had a quiver of rad blades. And then you have this plastic thing.
Again, I was not producer on this episode. I'm really setting myself up.
Yeah.
It was really different. The show itself has been finding itself visually. Remember, we just came off an episode that looked like a horror movie.
Well,
that's true.
You go into the basement, the whole thing. This one, the way it was lit, even it felt like 70s nighttime soap.
Well, I hate to confirm this, but we did have a changing of the guards behind the camera. So
Do you know what
there is a
episode that
difference.
was?
It definitely is this one. I'm not sure if it was the last one.
I
will say, because it's now fresh in the memory bank, I wish it stayed kind of darker, edgier, like the first 2 episodes.
I know, but you know what else I noticed is that we look a lot prettier.
Yeah, I mean, you guys look beautiful in the pilot.
There's no like highlights except for the Fight Club guy coming in the beginning, but there's none of the weird highlights. Everybody was looking super pretty and well rested, even though my personality belied that.
And then I felt this episode also seemed to be much more dialogue heavy than the rest.
Possibly, yeah.
It's a lot of talky. Obviously, you have 3 characters. You seem to move the storyline along with the actors, as opposed to the action where everything else has been like.
I can tell you what super bugged me about this episode is somebody rearranged the damn furniture in the parlor. The couch is facing the entirely wrong way.
That's right. So are they facing Grams now?
Hey, is Grams a statue? Is she the statue?
No, I don't know what that statue is.
What the fuck is that giant marble statue that just shows up?
It was a statue of Grams.
It could have been.
No, it's like it actually looks like an oh my goddess type of statue.
Yeah, have you seen a young Jennifer Rhodes? I mean, she's pretty sultry.
Yeah, I'm like, is that Grams? And like, she's gonna burst out of the statue in the next episode. Don't fucking ruin it for me, but just wink or nod if I'm on the right path. PK's giving me a little.
No,
she's the statue, isn't she? Where's the cat?
Oh.
Where's Leo? Where's Scott?
Basement.
Like you
Scott
actually
is in the restaurant.
I didn't see him. You saw like 6 dudes.
Yes, he was there. Piper's got a revolving door of dudes
Scott.
there.
Jeez.
There. Somebody rearranged
the furniture. Squabble.
Yeah.
And then what's really awful, and I know I'm clearly not the only one to catch this, but we go running upstairs when there's suddenly 3 PRUEs, and suddenly I've just done a ponytail on the way up the stairs.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Bless it.
I didn't catch that.
Bless it. And again, I was not a producer on this episode.
But you're looking at things that I think most people wouldn't catch. Like,
they catch it.
I had the bigger problem with like. So she shows up to the warehouse, right, to like assess all the antiquities. And they're just like strewn about all willy-nilly. And she just goes and picks up a vessel from 210 BC, no gloves, no nothing.
A little touchy,
that's just fucking sitting on an edge.
Little touchy-feely.
Those are the issues of this.
Little touchy. No, I have another one. I have a better one. When Pink PRUE is completely clothed on the slab in the morgue.
Oh,
and her hands are folded like this upon her. And there's no like body bag.
Oh yeah, you gotta unzip it.
You gotta unzip the things. Those type people are usually naked.
Yeah,
true. It was
They're
the
not
90s.
usually clothed. It was spelling 90s. Say it right.
Spelling 90s.
Leave
her earrings and shoes in there.
Couldn't we also have gotten like maybe because it's a morgue, like so when you open it up, just like a little bit of dry ice or like a puff of smoke to make it seem like it's cold in there?
I mean, they should have left her naked. And then he wouldn't have known.
Andy, like, listen, PRUE. I just had you in here. What's going on?
Andy loses his goddamn mind in this episode.
I'm losing my fucking goddamn mind over Andy.
He should have just gone straight Dexter, and then I would have respected him more.
I don't understand why he's just okay, look. Let's rewind for a second.
This episode is called I Hate Andy.
Every story needs an obstacle.
Which
right?
PRUE hates Andy?
We need an obstacle, right? But like Andy's obstacle for great storytelling, it's like I would love to have been in the writer's room going, guys, like, come on. Like, how many times, like, if he's any worse, I don't know, like, I wouldn't trust him to, like,
the end of it, where he's like has a whole file on her.
Yes, and
he's
like the
gonna
ominous
figure out
music.
his ex-girlfriend in a super stalker way. It's just, dude.
Oh, of course. Like, there was also a moment in this episode where he just shows up
typing reports.
Get a real job.
Fucking, I wouldn't even trust him to do like one of the school crossing, like to be a school crossing steward.
He a bus driver?
He'd fuck that up.
Whoa.
Don't quit your day job.
Gotta follow PRUE.
Yeah. He's using the kids. He's like on a different bus route.
He's just setting himself up.
And
for
the
failure.
Fact that PRUE still trusts everybody at Buckland. I mean, come on, her boss is the most conspicuous, suspicious person out there.
I love her.
PRUE. So it's like
I love her.
I with everything that's happened through that whole thing, it's.
Christine Rhodes is legend.
Christine Rhodes kills it. I'm a little disappointed in Shannon's where are the white gloves? Just throw on some white gloves.
Yeah, I mean, a little technical advising would have been good there. I mean, and when you're dead, you're dead. You don't. There is no rigor in like prayer pose or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean, like, look, these are things that in hindsight we can go back, 20 years or whatever, 15. I've
never seen a body like that on a very special Dateline. I'm just saying.
No. But television was different.
And a pink cardigan.
I mean, she looked beautiful. She looked angelic. But like, let's just get back to Andy for one more second.
That would never happen on Grey's Anatomy.
So he's like looking at her, and then he sees her, and he looks confused.
So confused.
I'm telling you, everything changed after the airbag. He just got hit in the head too many times.
Oh my God.
That's right. Car seats had just been made
And what was he trying to originally bring her in for? Was it like a stealing of a feather? Wasn't that like what he was like all like twisted up about?
Up an arm.
Like, you stole this fucking feather and I'm bringing you downtown.
Yeah. I mean, some guys have a weird version of romance. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's interesting because he does show because, and his line is, it's weird for an ex-boyfriend or whatever we were and whatever we had. And there was that, kind of bitter pill he had to swallow of still hanging out with her. So there was an awkwardness that I think is, in real life would be felt. Maybe I kind of forgave it all for that. Like, okay.
Oh, you were feeling that moment?
Kind of explains the awkward.
You were feeling that moment.
He's just,
you
maybe
identified.
He's just so, he's playing Andy so socially inept.
Well, okay, let's do a little revisionist history. You're in the writer's room.
Okay.
How do we fix the Andy character? This is actually something this is like a little exercise that I've been thinking about. It's like,
you kill him.
Like, because a lot of what we're seeing is a byproduct of the conversation that we had with PRUE and him when she had the truth thing going and was able to kind of figure out that he wouldn't be okay with it, right? So from a writing standpoint, if we were going back, how would we fix this storyline where it makes it interesting, where we keep him engaged, and we're kind of dropping breadcrumbs, but not making him look like a complete moron on the job?
You don't. You kill him.
We'd kill him?
You
gotta kill him.
Gotta kill him.
Immediately?
He's beyond redemption.
Yeesh. I mean, look, you've already ruined that for me, so I know he dies.
There was like a combination of writers that just wanted him dead.
Really? You think so?
There's no other explanation. There's just not. There's just not.
It can't be that bad.
Yeah, there isn't.
There's no other explanation. Like, let's make him so bad that he cannot be redeemed. We have to kill him.
Not yet. They're arguing.
First of all,
there were late night
it
phone
literally
calls
says
happening.
a again, I was not producer on this episode, but it literally says, Phoebe goes, "What color was she wearing, you fucking moron?" And he goes, "I think the report says pink." He fucking saw her.
He stared at her. She's literally wearing black and pink, my guy.
I quit.
It's so obvious.
I quit this show. I quit this show again.
I fucking...
That's only the 16th time.
No, it's true though. Like, dude, everybody's asleep at the wheel. Everybody.
But this is what I'm saying. So how would we, but for real, how do we fix this character?
No.
How do we actually make it where it's interesting, where it's the reveal will actually be something where we're not screaming at the screen going, "You're a fucking idiot." Like, come on.
No, you kill him.
Immediately?
I don't know that it's...
You really don't think it's salvageable?
No. He thinks it was pink. He thinks the report says it was pink.
Yeah, he didn't even claim it. He's like, "I think the report said pink." I'm like, dude, you stared at her. So you're like, "Oh, here's her things, here's her fingerprints, and here are her fingerprints."
I'm sorry. That's just not how a person identifies a body, A. And B, how they react to like their long lost girlfriend being dead.
Agreed.
Well, again, not a cop show.
True.
But, it also, I don't know if the writers, again, were writing the cop's got to be silly so the girls can get away with what they can get away with.
You meant stupid.
Well, I mean, it's just like the problem. I think is the setup.
You saw that,
he's put in situations, and first of all, let's put it out there. This is not TW's fault. We're not by no means are we.
It's on the page.
Yeah, this is on the page.
There was a team of writers that were gunning.
It's on the page.
Yeah, the actor is a low man on the totem pole unless you're a producer. So a lot of times the script will come in and you're reading a scene, and all of a sudden you're like, well, you have issues, and you try to take it to the showrunner or the writer, and no, we really you really have to say these lines.
On our show, that would take very many hours.
Thanks.
Yeah, they kind of like they nod and they go, "Yeah, I hear you," and that's interesting. Maybe you can change that "and" to a "but," but really we'd like you to kind of say all these lines. So Ted is doing the best he possibly can under like literally impossible circumstances.
Andy's doing his
job.
job
To overcome. I'm just
and
trying
I felt
to think.
bad for him. I felt bad for him. I was like,
absolutely.
At the end of the episode, poor Andy. But then I saw his little serial killer file on her, and I was like, oh no, not poor Andy.
No.
Not poor Andy.
No.
I mean, they're literally like lining up her next relationship.
In situations where it wouldn't be so obvious, like
that he's not the guy.
But the
he's
reveal,
not the one.
Like when he does ultimately find out, like the reveal is not going to be any. It's not going to hit or land. That's from like now I'm just talking from a storytelling point of view. There's just no way it's going to land in a big way. For example, when we saw Leo for the first time use a little bit of power, right?
In his ass?
No, not the finest glutes in the city episode.
This is what I think of when you say we first saw Leo.
But when we first saw him and we saw him move like some shit, I think the first time we ever saw him do powers, it was in the attic, correct?
Yeah, that was like 3 episodes deep, though.
Or no, 4.
Maybe.
But
no,
it was
meaning like
shit.
3.
Now, obviously, we know Leo has powers, but the original moment was like, it was a big reveal and it landed. You're like, oh shit, this guy has powers. He might, like, what is he up to? What is his...
There was gravity.
Yes, there was weight to it.
What is your point?
What I'm saying is when Andy ultimately is told the truth or fully finds out, it doesn't land. It doesn't mean
Apparently
anything.
It kills him.
Is that how he fucking dies? Why do you keep doing this?
Yeah, and it's like someone lets it happen too.
Oh shit, really?
No, well, we
Why
tried.
don't you just tell me how it all goes?
It's for the greater good.
It is
really?
for the greater good.
He gets dead for the greater good?
He gets dead.
Who kills him?
He gets dead. Probably me at this point.
You have a full halo effect going on, girl. Like literally, you have this like
I know that
like essence of glow happening.
I don't know what's happening. This didn't happen before.
It's a thing.
I don't know. I can't fix it.
But anyway, I don't know. Anything, BK, I know you said you didn't have, at the top of the episode, you're like, I don't actually have a lot to say on this episode. Was it what took you out of it, or what bothered you about it?
I have enjoyed the way cinematically the show has evolved up to this point.
We quit.
And I don't know, maybe it was because of I guess it was the overall writing of the show with the new cinematography. It took the show back again. It dropped it back 10 years in production value for
10.
me. At least.
A decade.
I mean, the lighting of it and the way if you watch all 16 to this point, this one is decidedly different than the others, and especially coming off the last episode, which looked like a feature film, a horror movie.
See, I like this one so much better, just because, well, it's for personal reasons, just because, well, they were having so much more fun, but I was really just, I was the one that was like, are we done yet? Are you still
Alyssa
talking?
was clearly, like, we also saw that in this episode. Alyssa was having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was having a blast, and I guess I do appreciate it for that, is that you do this throwback, the storyline itself of somebody being three different people, that type of thing, or being duplicitous. It isn't new, so it was a bit of a tip of the cap. Throw the lighting, do the thing, have the over. It was, you're not going to do this episode more than once, so it's kind of an ode to something, if you will, but. It wasn't my favorite cinematically, but the way, like we were saying, the way it was performed is, fantastic. Again, handling all that dialogue, especially in driving the story that with just dialogue heavy. Even you, Andy.
Even you, Andy. So that's a good take. I get it. I tend to like things lit a lot more edgy, darker. I cite the pilot as a really kind of the way Kretschmer and who was the DP in the original, like the first setup, like the first run. What was his name again? Before
I'd have to look again.
But he really established kind of like I liked the darker elements. I liked it. It felt a little dangerous. I liked that it just had some edge to it. And you're right. This one definitely was. It stood out in the wrong way from visually, aesthetically, especially like the warehouse stuff, the way it was lit too. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that really didn't look good at all. But I think the performances saved it,
I guess, as we were talking, it's each episode, the show growing cinematically and the direction of the show. And I guess the question is, when you see an episode like this that takes the show back to even almost Charlie's Angels days, early spelling television.
Oh my God. That's like you're putting us back 2 decades now.
Well, that's what I felt like the lighting and everything was. And so this was the question was, did Shannon, did yourself, did Alyssa have a talk about how the show was going to look cinematically going forward? Because, obviously with the storylines, with you guys being so current and edgy, to throw it back that way, I'm wondering if it was a source of contention in how the show eventually wound up taking, a big turn from here just cinematically.
The changing of the guards behind the camera? That was personal issues. And I think when Jeff, the new guy, came on, he wanted us to look pretty. And so he made us look pretty. Because I'm telling you, I was like a couple shades of death by that episode.
I guess it's a question then it would be for, Spelling himself and the network of how they sell a show, right? How you're advertising it, how you're putting it out there.
But it had been at this point where, we're 15, 16 episodes in. It's a success, right? At this stage in the game. Like you guys are clearly a success.
I mean,
so why...
but we were shooting this long before we So I don't know what our lag time was, but we were definitely at least 5 to 6 episodes lag time, in before we premiered. So we were probably on episode, I don't know, probably episode 6 when we premiered. So by the time this aired, I mean,
what was episode
we were
10?
deep.
Wicca Envy? 10, Wicca Envy? Might have been.
Yeah. I mean, we premiered really well. We had really good numbers. So we knew that we at least had that. But we had so many producers, not just on our team, but at Spelling and at the network. And there were entirely too many cooks in the kitchen. Entirely. And everybody had a different version, which is why we always ended up with different boyfriends. We never knew which direction we were going. There was just no one, especially after Connie left, there was just no real through line. We were just throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick.
Okay.
Which is why there's mutiny
I think
right now.
That all that being said,
is mutiny.
Well, it's a testament to, again, your talent as an actor, and Shannon and Alyssa. You guys, like, no matter what was going on storyline wise and or like production look wise or just like anything on the production end of it, like you guys are still killing it, and dare I say, having more fun and finding the character even more. So it's such an easy watch that I think, unless you're examining it under like a microscope, like what we're doing right now, you're just kind of rolling with it, going, oh, this show is fucking fun. These girls are having a blast. Like, who's the baddie of the week? Like,
funny.
You guys are, you have such a long leash because you guys are so good and talented that
to hang ourselves with.
As a general audience, we would excuse any sort of like things. Now, obviously, our show, like House of Halliwell, we're kind of over analyzing and examining like story points and mullets and trench coats, etc. But I think for a casual fan or just someone who just loves the show, like, it doesn't matter because you guys are killing it. And at the end of the day,
I was a casual fan this week. I it was a relief for me that they were both really happy, even though I was really tired. And so literally my performance is, oh, you're having fun? Oh, you're having fun now. Really? Wow. Took you a while to get here. I've been here.
Yeah. Just give Alyssa some Billy Blanks, Tybo. And that
she was kicking its ass, by the way.
By the way, killing that thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Danielson was not in the script either.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ooh, yeah,
I caught that as well. Yeah. Look, Karate Kid. It's a reference.
It was, Cobra Kai. Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Well, do you have anything else?
I don't know if that joke was 12 years later, 14 years too early.
It was 14 years too early.
Probably 14 years too early.
My style.
Well, is there anything else that you guys want to touch on this episode? It's kind of, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straight down the middle. But is there anything else?
I as much as I was taken out of the episode initially, the humor and fun you guys have is just,
it's okay. You don't have to like it, Brian. You don't have to like it.
Listen, it's true.
Go ahead. We stumbled and we fell flat on our faces.
You guys are freaking
No, I disagree. Like I told you, I led with this, our opening saying, I think this was one of the more fun to watch Shannon have that much fun.
I know.
She literally smiled
on the
in
bounty.
every single fucking scene.
Oh yeah. Mutiny.
It was
just
awesome.
Mutiny.
Because that's just not that's not PRUE really, and that's not Shannon, like how she, again, she's the consummate professional. And
it almost felt like
she was fucking with me. She was messing with me. It was rude.
Totally.
That's why I said I'm not talking to that clone no more. Because I ain't talking to that clone no more.
Yeah, you were pretty.
At some point, they just said, roll the camera.
Yeah, exactly. It was a behind the scenes.
They were like
total behind the scenes.
It's kind of like the podcast is now when they're like, "Are they still talking? Are they still talking? Okay, cut. Somebody cut. Moving on."
But any other kind of final thoughts?
Yeah, Brian hated it. That's fine. You know what? I was so relieved by this episode, and I remember being relieved. Remembered being a little bitter about being relieved. So I'm going to give it a 9.
Relieved?
A whole fucking
Why were you
9.
relieved? What were you relieved about?
Because well, not to get too specific, but it's not my style to not get too specific, that they were finally having a good time. Both of them, individually, together.
Together, for sure.
And then there's Andy. Stalker Andy in all his glory.
Fucking guy. He gets a 1.
Gotta kill him.
If we're rating Andy from a 1 to a 10, he gets a 1 for detective work.
Oh, he gets a 10 for being the biggest airbag Andy.
Yeah, a 10 for being an airbag, a 1 for detective work. For me, I give, I like I said, I think the performances were awesome. You could tell Shannon and Alyssa were having a blast. It was an interesting contrast because your character was so wound up. You're so wound up.
She's just over it.
Why are you so wound up? Why were you so upset about the incantation? Like, let her go say a spell. The Book of Shadows was telling her she could do it.
Because I know when things will go bad and when, like Andy, have to die.
Oh, God. It's better for is it happening tomorrow? Is it happening in the next ep?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
No. It's a slow death, slow march towards.
It really is slow, painful.
Oh God!
But he's got to build his case.
Who kills him now?
Just got to build his case. Little case file.
Yeah, is that file going to get thicker and thicker?
Yeah.
Does he make it to season 2?
Some people just break up and don't need all this.
Blink once if it's a yes, blink twice if it's a no.
Some people just break up and don't need all this negative intimacy bullshit. Cut the cord.
That's what makes it too stalkery. They should have had Andy move. This is how you fix it. Getting back to that. You have Andy get transferred because he's just too close, man. I'm too close.
Yeah.
I can't work this beat anymore.
Absolutely.
Prue's there. He's too emotionally invested. You have to
She's also showing up in every single case that he's assigned.
Yeah, you got to send him over to Oakland.
There was something
else.
They
just run into each other if they ever do again, man. He's too close.
It proves overeating lunch at Chez Panisse and runs into Andy.
Boom. Now
then
they got a chance.
We could have more Dorian. More Dorian, who is also in amazing shape, by the way. He's on Wes Ramsey's level.
Yeah. He's really He's figured it out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you gave it a 9, Holly, because your girls were having fun.
Yeah.
BK, would you give it? Final thoughts?
I mean,
making my life easier.
Having fun. I love it. It's nice to see the show growing.
No, he hates it.
The girls getting there, but I was really taken out with
the boxing,
to the opening and the lighting,
the plastic sword,
and I didn't like the throwback
crystal
Charlie's Angels, 70s soft nighttime feel.
So I'm interpreting
I'm more
this
like
as like a 5.
With that. A
5 or 6.
No, he hated it.
You could be harsh.
I don't know that it was a stinker. I just didn't like it. Just took me out of it.
I gave Wedding of Hell from 1.
So you're saying
I gave it a 1 out of 10.
You're saying we were being too much like ourselves, is what you're saying.
That what?
You're saying we were being too much like ourselves. You saw way too much of us in the episode.
I love the fun. I love all that. I didn't the lighting and making you guys Charles Angels like an old spelling show. I feel like the show had grown by then, and I didn't. It just took me out. It was like, no, we're going the wrong direction.
You're out.
So a 6?
I don't like it for that, and I'm glad that it didn't stay that way because I don't think the show would have had a shelf life.
Okay, I agree.
So you quit it. You quit it. He quit it.
One of my other, before I give my final number, I also felt like the vanquishing of this the bad du jour was a little bit like it was pretty basic. Like you froze him, you took the knife, and then you just threw it at him or the plastic sword.
Teamwork.
Like
teamwork makes the dream work.
It didn't really kind of the stakes didn't feel that high. Especially because you had 2 dummy Prues as well, kind of as like bait. So he was getting his kill count up, but you guys were never really in danger. And you and what I didn't like about the story-wise is like because he's only going for the oldest sister, Alyssa and you.
Me. That would be me.
You are, you're never, there's never, like it never felt like you were in danger. And because we set up some dummy Prues, like PRUE was never really in danger. And then this like, so the power of 3 that ultimately vanquished this quote unquote Lord of Sword War was you froze him, she Billy Blanks Tybo's him, and then you take the sword and you throw it at him. And he also killed his sister. Like, so you're like,
that was
stakes,
rude.
like if we really go at it from that, like a story point of view, I'm down with BK at around like a 6. But performance-wise, I'm at like, actually, this was up there for me, close to like a 9 for sure. Because and the performances, not ironically, but the performances save the episode for me.
Absolutely, I agree.
So that's kind of where I end with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well said.
Okay, that's enough for an episode.
Yeah, well said.
Moving on.
I can't wait to see what Andy gets up to next. You know,
really. Oh, God.
I mean, you think Leo's bad. Like, he's just going to walk in like any given day. You know, you're going to be in the bathroom and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm here. You know,
I mean, maybe.
Here to fix your plumbing.
Already be doing that.
Eating a sandwich, fixing your plumbing.
I'm formally inviting Ted officially, publicly. Please come on and defend Andy. Please.
I don't think it's. I think he knows it's indefensible.
It's indefensible.
Yeah, we need some insider Andy news.
I know.
I'd love to hear the whole take on it and all of it. Be great.
Yeah. Well, that concludes another riveting episode of The House of Halliwell, brought to you by...
I enjoyed it.
The House of Halliwell.
I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I'd watch House of Halliwell every day if I could. In fact, I do.
Well...
I meant the episode, not your episode.
Now.
So check out wherever you subscribe and listen to music, podcasts, whatever, whether it's Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google Play, Amazon Music, etc. Or if you like to check out the videos, please subscribe to our Patreon.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Patreon.com/HOH. Really simple. You don't even have to spell The House of Halliwell. But yeah, we love you. We're super grateful and we're excited to be going on this journey. Still going.
And it was a 9. 9. It's a 9 for me.
Chaos is our brand. #it.